You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Welcome back. In a massive move to liberate women from the patriarchal practice of instant triple talaq, and I'll be very specific, instant triple talaq or talaq-e-biddat, the central government is mulling a legislation to end it. The bill over the same is set to be tabled during the winter session. But there are many who are opposed to this because they are questioning the intent of the government.
In what could be a big push for gender equality for Muslim women, the government is considering bringing in a bill in the winter session of Parliament to frame a law against the practice of instant divorce or triple talaq.
It was inevitable because, after all, Supreme Court can only declare whether something is unconstitutional or constitutional. They can't make laws. They can, interpret laws, but they can't make laws. So, therefore, after the Supreme Court declaration, Parliament was not in session at that time. And now the Parliament is going to be in session. So, we have to make a law so that people don't do triple talaq despite the Supreme Court thing.
3 months ago, in a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court had struck down triple talaq as unconstitutional and urged the government to legislate against its practice.
When there is a right, there must be a remedy. And according to me, it should have even come earlier. But it's a welcome step, and I hope it is passed in the winter session so that there is fear of God and fear of punishment in people who want to indulge in some such activities. So it's a very welcome and wholesome step.
While the practice of triple talaq is illegal in several Islamic countries, there are entrenched minority interest groups that are resisting moves towards a law that criminalizes triple talaq.
कानून पहले से बना हुआ है, अगर कोई ट्रिपल तलाक देता है इंस्टेंट तो उसके खिलाफ डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस का केस बनता है, कॉन्टेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट का केस बनेगा, तो बहुत सारी सजाएं ऑलरेडी है, लेकिन उस पर फिर नया कानून लाने जा रहे हैं। लग रहा है कि देश में और कोई मसला ही नहीं है, देश में इतने इश्यूज़ हैं, उन इश्यूज़ की तरफ से ध्यान भटकाने के लिए ये मुस्लिम महिलाओं की तरफ ही हमेशा जो तीर फेंकते रहते हैं।
धार्मिक मामला है और धार्मिक मामले में तमाम धर्म से जुड़ी जो संगठन होते हैं, जो धर्म से जुड़े धर्म गुरु होते हैं, उनके साथ भी उनको इस पर पूरी चर्चा करनी चाहिए और चर्चा कर फिर किसी फैसले पर या किसी बिल की तरफ बहस पर आना चाहिए.
But ask those Muslim women who have suffered due to this practice. Triple talaq, that's entirely out of sync with New India. But ask those Muslim women who have suffered due to triple talaq. It's a practice that's entirely out of sync with New India and needs to be ended via legislation. Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 3 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
So here's the story on the back half of the News Hour at 10 as we debate the triple talaq bill. We say good evening to our panelists, Nupur Sharma, Amina Sherwani, Mufti Ijaz Arshad Kazmi, Maulana Atar Hussain Delvi, and also Juhi Singh, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. What's the story? The government has set up a ministerial committee to consider a legislation to put an end to instant triple talaq, the Muslim way of divorce, which is said to be still in practice despite the Supreme Court striking it down. Now, as the law stands today, a victim of talaq-e-biddat would have no option but to approach the police for redressal for her grievance, as a Muslim clergy would be of no assistance to her. Even police are helpless as no action can be taken against the husband in the absence of punitive provisions in the law. That's the explanation. Because as per the Shariat, there is an age-old archaic law which we don't follow of the husband being flogged. But we don't have a law in place, and that's the reality. But many are questioning the timing and the intent. Nupur Sharma, let's start with you.
There's nothing about the timing and the intent. The intent was absolutely clear in October 2016 when the government of India actually filed its affidavit in this matter in the Honorable Supreme Court. The reality of the matter is that, as the judgment of the court says, we are meant to come out with a law. We've been given 6 months by the dissenting judges, and even otherwise, to ensure that it is properly implemented in India, the ban per se, you have to make sure that there are some penal provisions introduced or amended into the current act as it exists, or perhaps introduce something new. So I think this is all those naysayers who earlier were objecting to the ban on triple talaq have actually come out, had to do a 180-degree turn after the Supreme Court banned it properly, and now again they're just looking for something to object on. This is a legislative duty that the Parliament is going to undertake. So I don't understand what the brouhaha is all about. It is banned.
Let's ask them what the brouhaha is all about. तकलीफ क्या है मुफ्ती काज़मी?
नहीं, तकलीफ की इसमें कोई बात नहीं है। पहले दिन से मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ये क्लियर स्टैंड रहा है कि ट्रिपल तलाक एक समाजी बुराई है, गलत है, उसकी रोकथाम होनी चाहिए और अगर कोई ऐसा करता है तो उसको सज़ा भी मिलनी चाहिए, ये भी स्टैंड रहा है। लेकिन उसका समाधान कोर्ट में जाना नहीं है या उसके लिए कानून बनाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बल्कि ये एक समाजी बुराई है। समाज में बेदारी पैदा करने की ज़रूरत है, समाज को लिटरेट करने की ज़रूरत है और जितना ज़्यादा समाज में लोग बेदार होंगे, एजुकेट होंगे, उतना ही ज़्यादा इसकी रोकथाम होगी। और इसके लिए मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड की बाज़ाब्ता कंपेनिंग चल रही है कि इस तरह की जो ट्रिपल तलाक, स्टेट ट्रिपल तलाक खास तौर से है, वो नहीं होना चाहिए, रुकना चाहिए। अब सवाल ये है सिर्फ कि जब 22 अगस्त को ये फैसला आया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट का, तो उस वक्त सरकार ने डायरेक्टली कह दिया था कि अब हम कोई नया कानून नहीं लाने जा रहे हैं। लेकिन ये 3 महीने में क्या हो गया कि अचानक स्टैंड चेंज हो गया और 3 महीने के अंदर में, जबकि अभी यूपी में इलेक्शन, गुजरात में इलेक्शन है, तो एकदम से कह दिया कि हम जो है कानून लाने जा रहे हैं। तो ये चेंजिंग समझ में नहीं आती है। उसी दिन कहना चाहिए कि अब जो हम नया कानून बनाएंगे या नया कानून कुछ लाएंगे, इसलिए कि उस वक्त जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आया था तो पूरी तरह से क्लियर नहीं था।
ठीक है, so 2 points that he said, I'll ask you to rebut that. First, did you commit to the court that they will not bring a legislation and you have changed your mind? That's what he's asking about the government. And second, is it driven because there is a little bit of attraction of triple talaq
when did we commit?
Among the Muslim constituency, especially the women, even in Gujarat?
No, when did we commit? And for that matter, he's talking about UP elections that happened a while back. I don't know where he's living. He's probably living in denial, not updated with the news. That way, I just want to ask him. The affidavit was submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court in October 2016. What elections were going on then? That was the actual most prominent proof of the government stand of what we believe should be done with instant talaq, which means the talaq at biddat. The problem with the naysayers and all these people now who've just come out of their comfort zones and now again to oppose anything that the government wants to do is simply this. They oppose the ban on triple talaq before the court, but inki chali nahi, and now they want to oppose the legislation which is going to ensure that the law is properly implemented. I want to come to your second question. If we don't have a law or we have penal provisions against those men who flout the ban as dictated by the Honorable Supreme Court and directed by them, then please allow me, the issue simply is that instant triple talaq has been happening. There have been news reports of that. So what's the point of having a ban if it can't be properly, thoroughly implemented? I think I really fail to understand. The session is going to be perhaps during or after the Gujarat elections. So what is the problem?
When the session
Why should the law not be implemented?
That's another big question mark.
10 seconds, please.
I have to open up the panel, but quickly.
गवर्नमेंट के अटॉर्नी जनरल ने जो है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अपना पक्ष रखा था। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सरकार का पक्ष रखते हुए उसने तलाक के तमाम सिस्टम को बैन करने की बात की थी, जिसे ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्ट्रिक्टली जो है रिजेक्ट कर दिया और उसने तकरीबन 90% जो फैसला है वो मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के फेवर में आया है और ये कहते हुए कि चूंकि मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड भी स्टेट ट्रिपल तलाक को बुरा कहता है और उसको रोकना चाहता है, इसलिए जो है हम इसको सेट एसाइड का लफ्ज इस्तेमाल किया। लेकिन ये लोग जश्न मना रहे हैं कि ये जश्न मना रहे हैं कि हमारे फेवर में फैसला आ गया।
आपने क्या दलील दी?
झूठ बोल रहे हैं।
नहीं, अटॉर्नी जनरल का क्या स्टैंड था?
ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड actually went against the ban on the triple talaq, so he may not actually want to lie on national television. Kapil Sibal was their advocate. Kapil Sibal was their advocate, and they completely decided. They gave excuses like बीवियों को जला दिया जाएगा, मार दिया जाएगा अगर इंस्टेंट तलाक का इनका सोल्यूशन नहीं होगा। Everybody remembers your infamous press conference. आप झूठ ना बोलिए टीवी पे आके, आप एक्सपोज कर रहे हैं अपने आप को। मैंने जैसे कहा आपने 180 डिग्री का टर्न ले लिया एकदम से, क्योंकि आपकी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आपकी दलील चली नहीं, तो आप यहाँ पे अपना कुछ एक्सपोज ना करिए। सच्चाई तो ये है, नहीं मैं तो झूठ नहीं बोल रही, सबको पता है क्या हुआ था। बीवियों को जला दिया जाएगा, बीवियों को मार दिया जाएगा, बीवियों को समझ नहीं होती तलाक देने की या लेने की, ये सब आपने ही बोला था, मेरे शब्द नहीं है ये आपकी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बोले हुए।
प्लीज देखिए, दलीलें दोनों तरफ से रखी गई थी, फैसला एक सुनाया गया था। Amina ji, and I'm opening it up to our other panelists. I'll start with Amina ji before I go across to Juhi Singh and also Maulana Delvi. Amina ji, the simple aspect was, even though the 5-judge bench, 3 and 2, the verdict was split, but all of them were of the opinion that the onus is on the government to pass a law.
The intent that you began with.
Ji, Amina ji.
Talk about the intent that you began with. You had begun this program by saying the intent of governments. I will tell you, I do not trust the intent of any government, be it this government, that government, or the other government. All governments and politicians are here to further their agendas. All these so-called dharma gurus, as this one man claimed that we are dharma gurus and we should be consulted, these dharma gurus also are a vested interest and they need to be left out of the loop completely. Let me tell you, in Islam, in the Quran, there is no mention of dharma gurus. You read the Quran, you become a Muslim, you follow the laws. The Quran clearly says to, in one instant, to say talaq talaq to your husband or your wife is illegal. No wife can divorce her husband instantly, no husband can divorce his wife immediately. However, sensible divorce exists in Islam, and that is for the safety and welfare for all. You spend 1 year in arbitration, you get 2 arbiters who are within your family and friend circle. If your arbitration does not work, then 1, 2, 3 months, you say talaq, talaq, talaq. Either the husband or the wife, both can say this. Talaq is a right of Muslim women also, not just of Muslim men. The Quran clearly gives me the right to divorce my husband, and I do not want the courts of law to take that right away.
Agree, there is no argument there. Amina ji, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We have debated this. We have put the facts out. I am asking you.
He can only make me.
No, I am saying, as a Muslim woman and as a woman, won't you be more assured if there is a law, if there is a legal recourse available to you?
For it, and we should take this. In fact, every girl in India should get married like this and get divorced like this. If she needs to get divorced in this manner. There is no need for us to
I am asking you something. Amina ji, can you hear me? My question is simple, ma'am.
Happen at home. Yes, I can hear you now.
No, if it can happen at home, but don't you want a legal recourse available if even now, despite the Supreme Court's judgment, there is instant teen talaq and the practice is prevalent? Even now we are getting cases where talaq has been given over WhatsApp. And then it's being justified as only this is the second time, it's not an instant talaq, etc., etc. What is the legal recourse for the woman here?
I am telling you, it is
I accept it is wrong, Amina ji. But once it is done and if it is getting endorsed, what is the legal recourse? There is no legal recourse.
How do you punish people who already are doing it?
There is no
ban.
She can go to court.
Exactly what I'm saying. I'm asking you, what is the legal recourse?
Why should a woman?
Yeah. So what is the punishment that you can give? Now, Juhi Singh, what's your point of view? There is no punishment right now. Juhi Singh, do you back this move for a debate and a wider discussion and a legislation that ensures that instant teen talaq as a practice is totally abolished in our society, in India? And I'm very clear when I say instant teen talaq.
Winter session going to take place? Yeah, I agree. When is this very elusive winter session of the Parliament going to take place? And has, as our learned friend from the
Nupur Sharma just said, either before, either during or after the Gujarat elections.
Okay.
As of today, my information says first week of December, madam. But I think if 6 months don't pass, I don't think you even have a locus standi to make a point on this.
It doesn't say so. You yourself, you can give a commitment that it will.
Madam G, to you also. But before 6 months pass, you don't have a locus standi to even question the government on this. There's not been a lapse of 6 months since the last session.
Please hear.
Okay, let Juhi.
I know, stop screaming, madam. At least be factually correct.
No, madam, please sun le.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to speak, Madam Ji.
Please listen. If you want the opposition.
हाँ, Madam Ji, आपकी सुन रही हूँ.
Thank you for the permission. If you, Ji, धन्यवाद. I am just saying that is the draft.
Madam Ji, I'm only using your language.
Ready? When is the
no, put this way. I've got limited time, so let her complete.
The third very important thing is. No, it's okay. She can. That shows her level. The third thing is this will require certain constitutional amendments. What are you going to do with Article?
Yes, Madam Ji, yours too.
What are you going to do with Article 385A? Madam, please just let me intervene. It might be funny for you.
I am asking you, if there is a debate on the legislation, will you participate? Will you back the government in forming a legislation? The question is very simple.
Talk about it.
Juhi Singh, the question is very simple. Will you back a legislation? Now let me just please.
What is your stand on triple talaq? आपने तो आज तक clear नहीं किया. No, let's just ask Ms. Juhi Singh, what is the Samajwadi Party stand on triple talaq? No, there was no clear stand that the Samajwadi Party took on triple talaq anyway. They are just opposing for the heck of opposing. I'm sorry to say this. You only oppose for the heck of opposing. You end up sounding like anti-women parties. You just want to spin the debate on rhetorics and not talk on facts or logic. Nothing you say makes sense. The fact is that there has to be a law legislated, otherwise there is no punishment prescribed for people who actually defy the ban on triple talaq as per the Supreme Court's directive. Simple as that.
The courts. Now,
GST का क्या होगा, इसका क्या होगा, तो दुनिया भर की बात कर लो, 370 का क्या होगा?
Juhi Singh, I have only 3.5 minutes left on the debate. It's not a 45-minute debate, but a 25-minute one, because we have two debates on the Newshour tonight. So let's come back to the actual issue. The issue is, do you believe the women need a legal recourse and a legislation in place, as the courts also opined? And will you back a debate on this? And if there is a legislation moved, will you debate it and pass it? Straightforward question in the winter session, whenever it happens. As per Nupur Sharma, first week of December onwards, even before Gujarat goes to polls. Perhaps, let's see how it goes on. But I'm going to ask Maulana Delvi, where do you stand on this, sir? Atar Hussain Delvi Saab, thank you for your patience. Yes.
आनंद, मैं इसमें देखिए जो अमीना शेरवानी ने जो बात कही और जो आपने अपने प्रेफेस में कहा, मैं उसके साथ जाता हूँ. परेशानी ये है कि कोई भी सरकार इस मुद्दे पे कितनी संजीदगी दिखाती है, ये हमारे सामने मुद्दा है. देखिए, कोई भी कानून ऐसे नहीं बनता. आनंद, आप एक जिम्मेदार जर्नलिस्ट हैं सब, और एक जिम्मेदार चैनल पे हम लोग बैठे हैं. परेशानी ये है कि इस मुद्दे पे सरकार अगर कुछ अच्छा काम करना चाहती थी तो थोड़ा सा इंतज़ार कर सकती थी. ये क्या बात हुई कि कल पूरा अपोजिशन और सारे लोग एक बात कह रहे हैं कि साहब आपको विंटर सेशन जो है वो उसके टाइम पे करना चाहिए, बजाय सरकार इस पे कोई जवाब दे दिया, इस बात का ऐलान कर दिया कि हम विंटर सेशन में इसको लेके आएंगे. जबकि हमारे पास 18 ऐसे अमेंडमेंट हैं, ऐसे विधेयक हैं जिसके अंदर सबसे बड़ा एनिमी प्रॉपर्टीज़ के ऊपर हम 17 बार जो है वो ऑर्डिनेंस ला चुके हैं. हमारा कहना है आप अच्छा काम कीजिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट की गाइडलाइन का हम सम्मान करते हैं. आप एक ड्राफ्ट लेके आइए, लोगों से बातचीत करिए, अमीना से भी बात की, नुपुर से भी बात कीजिए, सबसे बात कीजिए. लेकिन ये इलेक्शन पीरियड पे खाली एक बयान दे देना, यूपी की रैलीज में इसको ये नहीं होगा. आप कुछ अच्छा काम करना चाहते हैं, अच्छा काम कीजिए. जिस विंटर सेशन के बारे में अभी तक कोई फैसला नहीं हो सका, वहां कौन सा बिल लाया जाएगा? आनंद, अपने आप में सिर्फ और सिर्फ सियासत है जो गुजरात और इन मुद्दों को देख के की जा रही है.
Nupur Sharma, please quickly rebut that. Yes.
Two sentences. First and foremost, when the session has to be called as the government's prerogative, I'm sorry to remind all of you, specifically when 6 months have not lapsed since the last session was in place in the parliament. Secondly, now when you speak about, Arey Juhi ji, Madam ji, rukiye. Now secondly, when you actually speak about कि कैसे करना है, तो आप तो वही बात दोहरा रहे हैं जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने कही थी कि सारे के सारे, एंड उनमें से कुछ धर्म के ठेकेदार भी है, सेल्फ प्रोक्लेम, सारे के सारे साथ में आए और इसका एक रिजल्टेंट एक तरीका निकाले, इवन बिफोर द सुप्रीम कोर्ट केम आउट विद द जजमेंट. नाउ थर्डली ऑल्सो, आई एम सॉरी टू से, आप जो भी बातें कह रहे हैं कि क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, क्या उसकी प्रतिक्रिया होगी, ऑल दिस इज गोइंग टू बी डिस्कस्ड इन द पार्लियामेंट. इट इज एक्चुअली अ प्रेरोगेटिव ऑफ द लेजिस्लेटिव functionary of this country, so let it be. Let the session happen. The government's intent is very clear from October 2016, may I repeat myself, and let it happen. Let the parliament debate ke kaise hona chahiye, kya hona chahiye.
But now the nation,
the allegation remains. I think two aspects that stand out. Maulana Delvi and Mufti Kazmi have only two things to have said the same thing. They have said कि आपका इरादा गुजरात elections का है, law का नहीं है. And now I'm just going to wind as
2016 में कौन से
as we देखिए,
जब लिखित में एफिडेविट फाइल किया,
एफिडेविट फाइल किया,
अक्टूबर 2016 में लिखित में एफिडेविट फाइल किया, तो कौन से चुनाव?
I'm just going to read out what Shaira Bano, the first petitioner in this case, said. That she is convinced that until the government brings a new law, the court ruling is not effective. Because she said 2 months have passed, we do not know what government has done so far to form a new law against Teen Talaq. Nobody from the government has approached me, but we are hopeful that a new law to curb the practice of instant Teen Talaq will come into force soon. incidents of instant teen talaq have continued despite the Supreme Court putting a ban on it. A strong law is needed. It will help women who are being harassed. I've been interacting with members of my community. I have observed that they have not yet accepted the SC order fully. We need to spread awareness. Not just Muslim women, but women from all sections of society should come out together and support a new law against teen talaq.
Absolutely.
So this is what she has said. Many are questioning, is this government serious? We are saying, is the House, is Parliament serious?
This is the only serious government.
If and when the winter session happens, we would like this, we would like this debated, we would like this legislation passed for the case of many women in our country who are still feeling the ignominy of being subjected to instant teen talaq. Thank you very much for joining us on the News Hour tonight. I have to wind up. Paucity of time. Thank you.